Hello and welcome to the weekend in football. So, we're going to look at Premier League football and also obviously this week look at FA Cup football as well. I'm going to kick things off with my team, Liverpool, and then move into other games as well as we see fit. So if you like the idea of this type of video, let me know it and hit that like button, and also comment any suggestions that you'd like me to talk about. I might talk about a little bit of Champions League as well. And anything else that I might think of along the way. It's not the greatest planned out video of all time, just something I wanted to do. I've got some like fixtures and stuff like that in front of me that happened over the weekend, obviously with FA Cup action happening as well as Premier League games as well. There's obviously a fair few things to talk about. So I'm going to kick things off with Liverpool, where we had a lucky escape. We did have a lucky escape. Not that I don't think that we were at risk of losing that game against Fulham, but we were at risk of dropping vital points against Fulham. Mistakes that were made by they were our own downfall as well. But a lot of people are pointing fingers, in my opinion, at the wrong person. So obviously a lot of people are pointing their fingers at Virgil van Dijk for the poor header back to Alisson. But the two people that I felt were culpable for the mistake happening between Alisson and Van Dijk were actually Milner and Alisson. In my opinion, as soon as Milner slices that ball, his very first touch on the pitch after being subbed on, as soon as he sliced that ball, Alisson should have been pouncing on that ball. Should have been pouncing, coming forward. Instead, you could see Virgil van Dijk had his hands or something like this, waiting for the goalkeeper, waiting for Alisson to come and collect that ball. He didn't. So Virgil van Dijk decides to header it back to him, but by that point, for some reason, Alisson had decided that he was going to commit himself to ground or something like that, or try and use his feet, and it wasn't the right choice. Babel, of all people, gets in behind us and scores probably the easiest goal of his entire career. Now, these two don't make mistakes very, very often. It's exceptionally rare that they make mistakes. And when they have made mistakes, I think it's right that they haven't actually cost us points. But it was close. It was really, really close. Because I felt that we also got lucky with the penalty. I do. While I do think it is a penalty, slightly, it is a soft penalty. There's no question about it. It's not like Salah soft, like when Salah has put himself to ground in recent months and won us a penalty. It's not that soft, and we have been genuinely lucky with some of those penalty calls, but this penalty call literally could have gone either way, because I felt Mane made a little bit too much of it. Literally looked like he was almost bow and arrowing his body out of the, as when he got touched and whatever, and Milner slotted it away. Obviously we had a really good goal by Mane in the first place to actually put us in front. I just felt that it was a vital victory where we didn't lose our heads. Yes, we got lucky, I think, with the penalty to go 2-1 up against Fulham. And a lot of people will point towards us struggling against Fulham. It's one of those things. Sometimes you struggle against the teams that are down the bottom, and we've notoriously done that over the years with like a Crystal Palace or West Ham and Newcastle. Years and years we've had time and time again where we've struggled against lower in the league teams. Thankfully, we came out on the right side of it. I think we're now 2 points clear at the top of the table, but Man City have a game in hand. So, at the end of the day, all I'm concerned about is that we won the game and we can move on. Hopefully, none of those mistakes happen again moving forward. And then, in terms of other Premier League football, Everton beat Chelsea. Very comprehensively beat Chelsea. Chelsea played a game that looked like every move they had, they should have been scoring a goal. They should have been scoring a goal, and they just didn't put it in the back of the net. And that's what Everton did. Everton didn't have the greatest of chances, didn't have a lot of chances, but they put them in the back of the net, and Chelsea just could not lay a glove on Everton for some reason. Don't know. Honestly, I don't know. They've got enough attacking talent in the Chelsea team. They should be doing a lot better, but they've got to sort out their defence. I've said it before. I don't know if I've said it before on this channel, but I've said it before for definite, that if you're going to play David Luiz at centre-back, you have to play him in a 3, because he does not do well as part of a 2. He is too... I don't know. He just does not have the level of concentration to stay as a one-person centre-back as part of a 2. If you put him in a 3, then he can roam a little bit and he's got protection behind him. I think that kind of lets Chelsea down at times, as has the keeper as well with the penalty. I think the way he palmed it into Sigurdsson's path It's not a good one. It's not a good one for them either, and they've really got to, are they going to push for top 4? I don't see it personally. Didn't watch the game, but Brighton versus Millwall finished 2-2, but Brighton went all the way on penalties. Premier League action, you obviously had, I think, Leicester won 2-1 against Burnley. Harry Maguire got sent off in the first 3 minutes for something apparently Vincent Kompany's done quite a lot of in recent years, but he never gets sent off for. Maybe picks up a yellow every now and again, but I don't know. Are they playing favourites? Who knows? But they went out there and they won. And I think a great constant thing that you see now is obviously Brendan Rodgers is at Leicester and he's not giving up with this Leicester team, and this team does not give up easily anymore. So I think they sit 10th now. They do. They sit 10th. They're just in front of Everton, and it's not a bad season really for Leicester, and they have got a good manager in their employ. So I think he'll do good things for them. Unfortunate for Burnley really, but they just don't have that quality up front like a Leicester has. Probably the craziest game of the weekend, yes, I would say probably the craziest game of the weekend would have been West Ham versus Huddersfield. Because you're looking at Huddersfield, probably like a lot of people were looking at Liverpool versus Fulham, right? You're probably looking at that thinking, no doubt they're going to win. And at one point in this game, Huddersfield were 3-1 up. I am pretty sure that is correct. Yeah, Mark Noble scored first, and then it was 3 goals by Huddersfield. And then in the last 15 minutes, West Ham pull out 3 goals. Now, West Ham aren't known as the most high-scoring team of all time. And obviously people will look at it and say, it's Huddersfield, innit? They're going to concede a lot of goals. But they seem to be in quite good control of this game until Ogbonna scored, and then Chicharito came on and scored 2 goals as well. He's literally scored 2 goals in 6 minutes. And that really sealed the deal for West Ham. Great victory for West Ham. Honestly, really big victory for them. You just have to feel for Huddersfield because they're like the little engine that can. In a moment where it just can't at the moment, it's just not happening for Huddersfield, and you've got to consign Huddersfield. I'm going to have a look at their Premier League table where they are right now. They are bottom, and they are, they are 16 points away from safety. You've got to say it's done. It's done. There's 7 games left, right? My maths is not that quick. I'm not quick maths. But I'm pretty sure, 7 games? So 3, 6, 9, 7 threes even. Or 3 sevens. Let's just do that. 21 points. No, you can't. They're not going to do it. They're not going to win every single game. And Burnley aren't going to lose all of their games. And Southampton aren't going to lose all of their games. It's not going to happen for Huddersfield, unfortunately. Bournemouth drew with Newcastle, which I think Newcastle got that one back in like the 90th minute or something like that. So, you know, Newcastle seem to be fighting as much as they can. Watford beat Crystal Palace in the FA Cup. Didn't get to watch that game either, but apparently it had some good goals in it, which was really nice. And it seems like it's a competitive game. You know, 2 teams that are quite, I don't want to say similar, but you'd expect them to be around similar places in the Premier League in Watford and Crystal Palace. Move on to Swansea versus Man City and Wolves versus Man United. And this is where we're going to talk a little bit about, not about VAR as a system, but why do you have a competition where at one game, VAR is not in operation. At another game, it is in the same competition. I think FA Cup quarterfinals was this. So Swansea versus Man City finished 3-2. Swansea were 2-0 up at one point, and then it went 2-1. The penalty, arguable. Could have been given, might not have been given. It's one of them. It depends who's viewing it, in my opinion. I felt it could have been given because I didn't think that the defender got to the ball. A lot of people saying that he did. That's cool. I just haven't seen a great deal of angles that say that he did get the ball. But so for me, that looks like a just penalty, but a lot of people are saying that it isn't. So that's one that's in contention and could have been cleared up by VAR. And then I think the third goal for Man City, Aguero's header, he was offside. He was ever so slightly offside, but he was definitely offside. And there's no VAR there. Yet in the Manchester United game, VAR comes in and it actually stops Lindelof getting sent off. So how can you have the same competition at the same stage in the competition, VAR at one stadium, not at the other? You cannot do that. It's actually not fair. you've got to remember, people saying, oh, well, they can't always put VAR in at every stadium. Swansea were a Premier League team up until last year. I'm pretty sure that's right. They were in the Premier League until last year. They will have the facility to be able to put VAR in there. I don't understand why they haven't put it in there. You either have it or you don't have it. That'd be ridiculous. Imagine the Champions League. Say you've got I don't know, you've got Man City versus Tottenham. Don't have VAR, but Barcelona versus Man United has VAR, and something gets given or something doesn't get given because of VAR in one game, and then things go missing in another. You can't have it happen. You've got to have consistency. Man City won their game 3-2, and Wolves beat Manchester United 2-1. Pretty comprehensively in that game as well. Wolves have done really well in this competition, and I feel that whoever gets to the final, you've got major odds on it being Man City and Wolves are going to get to the final. That's going to be a hell of a final in my opinion, because I think Wolves will bite and fight for everything that they can, and I think that they could actually really do some trouble. Man City are going to want to win it because they want to win everything this season, obviously. So I think it'll be a really good final, but obviously they're not there yet. They're just into their next round of fixtures. So to wrap it up, it's been an exciting weekend of football with some controversy, as there always is, some fight backs, some teams getting shocked, and some teams also having things go their way that maybe they shouldn't. And I'm obviously talking about Liverpool as well there. So anyway, let me know what you think of this type of video. Anyway, it kind of wraps up the whole weekend of football. I want to try and do stuff like this as well. Haven't talked about the Champions League or Europa League this time, but I might do something midweek because we've got no games now. That's the international break. It's my favourite time of the year, the international break. So I might do something through the week. Let me know what you think. Get your comments in the comments box below, and if you've got any thoughts, anything you want me to talk about, I will give it a go. Thank you ever so much for watching this video. If you have enjoyed it, please do like it and subscribe if you are new around here. Thank you once again, and I'll catch you later.